12.5 billion naira of the 75 billion naira Nigeria Youth Investment Fund available for access. Federation Account Allocation Committee shares 639.9 billion naira to 3 tiers of government. Central Bank of Nigeria threatens to sanction defaulting financial institutions on cotton market infractions. And Nigeria gets ready for the 26th edition of the Nigeria Economic Summit. This is Business Express reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital, and I am Muplang Dakok. We begin with news that Nigeria recorded significant decline in revenue in the month of September, more than 190 billion naira decline compared to what was collected in August. However, the 3 tiers of government shared 639.901 billion naira after augmentation. This was disclosed at the monthly Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting, where gross statutory revenue was 341.5 billion naira.
The total statutory allocation is 483 billion. But this was supplemented with previous savings to get it to a total of 639.901 billion naira. This falls slightly below what was distributed last month. And the figure for last month, if you will recall, is 682.060 billion.
In the excess crude account as at October 15 remains $72.409 billion. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has threatened to sanction banks and other financial institutions conniving with middlemen to buy off cotton from cotton farmers under the Anchor Borrowers Program. The Apex Bank made this known during a stakeholders meeting with cotton, textile and garment farmers in Abuja.
This is expected to enhance the productive capacity of the ginneries to produce over 102,000 metric tons of cotton lint, and this is expected in turn to surpass and meet the cotton lint expectations of our textile industries.
On the smuggling side, like the Deputy Governor also mentioned, we're working with the relevant authorities to look at how we can curb all those sharp practices that contribute to the comatose nature of the textile, because we need to ensure that our textile mills, even when they're in operation, can compete favorably.
We believe that at least this is a different approach from what we did last year, and it should be a lot easier for us to track cotton from the farmers, from the clusters, all the way to the ginneries.
In another economic news, the federal government is calling for greater partnership in cushioning the effects of COVID-19 and ensuring a quick recovery from the anticipated recession. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed, at a session with the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, said the 2020 summit will avail opportunity to deepen partnerships and engage the subnationals for overall economic development.
Execution and impact. These pillars will run through all the sessions at the summit, with strong emphasis on reinforcing the role of subnational governments as the frontiers of economic growth and development as we build a more inclusive and sustainable economy.
The plan preparation process is designed to be participatory, inclusive, and consultative. The outcome will be a national plan which has the ownership of all critical stakeholders.
This is a continuous demonstration of our firm commitment to our role as a watchdog, intervener, convener, and dialogue partner.
Any other question?
Today on the program, we shall be looking at the 26th edition of the Nigerian Economic Summit. And of course, you know that it is a public-private partnership. So I'm being joined by Mr. Nana Ude, who is the CEO, Argon Continental Limited, co-chair, Private Sector NES 26 Joint Planning Committee. So we're on to Mr. Nana Ude on telephone. Hello, Mr. Ude.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Can you tell us the focus of the summit this year, 2020?
The post-lockdown pandemic economy, and we are all responding to the implications and the impact of the pandemic on the economy. However, like we all agree, we have pre-existing trends in the Nigerian economy, and so trying to have the summit that just simply focuses at the impact of the COVID was just the main issue itself will not be an appropriate way to frame the conversation. And so what we are trying to do is that out of last year's summit, there was this general agreement that there has been a focus over the past 25 summits on the federal government, and that it was time for us to begin to move the conversation towards national government as frontier for national economic development and economic growth. And so this year's summit will largely focus on that effort towards positioning as national. But more importantly, this year will usher Nigeria into the decade of action by the United Nations.
All right.
Achieving the sustainable development goals by 2030. And so we want to use this summit to also highlight the need for us to accelerate progress towards meeting the SDGs.
Okay, Mr. Ude, please, can you kindly turn down the volume on your television?
My television is not on. I don't know where the noise is coming from. It's not from my end, definitely.
Okay, we'll just move on now. So you talked about the subnationals coming in, but before bringing them in, what did you find?
So we actually found that, first of all, every business is a tenant of the state, as we will all agree. And so if for us in the private sector, if you want to drive a competitive private sector-led economy, and you don't have the conversation with subnationals, that means you are not really having the right discussions of how to push forward economic growth. And so that's why and again, we recognize that there are factor endowments within all state and local government areas in Nigeria, and a robust partnership between the private sector and state and local government areas will enable us to exploit those factor endowments and drive economic growth. And within the context of the pandemic economy I talked about, we believe that it will accelerate and fast-track our economic recovery. The numbers that were released by the MPS in August show that we are heading into a recession. We are already negative growth. But the good news is that the IMF has also projected that there
All right, on owning developmental strides, what is this alliance by the government and NESG aiming at?
Well, the partnership between the NESG and the government has dates back to the last 7 years from the very first summit in 1993. And it has been quite a very collaborative engagement we have had with government. A couple of policies that have driven economic growth have come out of the discussions and the summit. For instance, people may not know that the Nigerian telecom sector, which led to the GSM revolution, is a product of that consultation. Pension reform is a product of that consultation. Very earlier on, the repeal of the foreign exchange decree and the intention decree that enabled foreign investment to move into Nigeria, capital in and out, is also a product of that engagement and a lot more. And so that engagement, well, we will expect to make faster progress, we will expect to achieve more, to deliver more impact. But we can't really say that it has not been a worthwhile engagement, and we intend to sustain it, we intend to continue it. We have become a model for different countries in Africa who have seen the platform that we have created to engage with government. Some of them are trying to copy what we are doing. And so it's a partnership that we celebrate. Especially if you look at Nigeria, we are celebrating 60 years of independence. And we are proud that NESG and the private sector have been part of that 60-year growth of Nigeria in partnering with the federal government.
Yes. So talking about, you mentioned unemployment. So in terms of jobs and wealth creation, which are very critical for Nigeria at this moment, what will be your position?
Well, for us, what we have done is to identify our job growth industries, focus on them, and create the right environment around those industries to create jobs. And so that's how we have approached it, to have a clear-cut job plan that will, first of all, retool and reskill our young people for the jobs of the future. Get Nigeria ready for the fourth industrial revolution, which we missed out on the first three. We can't afford to miss out on the fourth one. And so just essentially ensuring that government investment and private sector investment are geared towards the right sectors of the economy that can generate growth and create growth. When you see the frustrations of our young people, they can't get jobs, they cannot afford the basic needs of life. It is simply because we haven't done as much as we should do. And jobs are created by the private sector. The mistake people make is when they look at unemployment, they think that it's only the government that can employ people and create jobs. That's wrong. In every developed and developing economy and advanced economy, it is the private sector that creates jobs. So what we are requesting to have the right policies in place, to have the right laws in place, to create that environment that can enable the private sector to thrive, create jobs, create wealth, and then generally the wealth, and that good of the Nigerian people will improve. And that's what this partnership has always been about. The reason we got involved in discussing with government at the very beginning was to enable us to have this collaborative framework that can drive a private sector-led economy. Now we take it a notch up by saying let us have a globally competitive private sector-led economy, so that we are not only just celebrating growth from within, but we are able to compete globally.
All right, Mr. Ude, thank you. Is the summit this year seeking foreign investment opportunities, or attention is mainly for local productivity?
Actually, at this stage, you can't afford to choose. You have to attack it from all directions. So we have a session that focuses on fostering local production. We have a session that talks about getting our MSME back to business. We also have a session that discusses opening to foreign investment. We have a session that talks about unlocking supply chain. So we can't afford to say let us simply only focus. We want to drive local production. We want to discuss one that is self-sufficiency in food production.
quickly, Mr. Ude, before I let you go, how can we ensure a more competitive business environment, opening the space for entrepreneurs to thrive? Very quickly.
It's actually there are a number of things. First of all, we have to look at the regulatory environment. We have to have smart regulations, focus on regulation so that regulations don't kill business. We have to look at sanctity of contracts. We have to look at the infrastructure. We have to look at the macroeconomic framework and ensure that we have a macroeconomic stability for the country. So there are a few things we need to really focus on, and if we focus on them and get them right, we will then be able to create that environment that we've unpacked it. One thing at the summit is that we always say create an enabling environment, but we've actually tried to unpack it to identify the key points that need to be done. And some of them are things that I have just mentioned: data, technology and innovation, and all of that. We need to really focus on those.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Nana Ude, for your time with us on Business Express today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. The federal government says 12.5 billion naira is already available for eligible and interested Nigerians to access from the 75 billion naira Nigeria Youth Investment, which was disclosed when a team from the Central Bank of Nigeria, led by the Director of Development Finance of the bank, Philip Yila Yusuf, at the formal opening of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund at the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development.
Therefore, with the great work that has been put in place by the stakeholders and in line with Mr. President's desire to increase investment in our youth, to increase confidence in the abilities and potentials of our youth, the loan provided under the NYIF has an interest rate of 5% per annum.
The process for the application of this youth fund is quite democratic. We've decided, working with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to use technology. So you don't need to know anybody. It's an open fund. All our youths between the ages of 18 and 35 are encouraged to apply.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC's) audited 2019 account shows it reduced losses by 99.7%. This is coming barely 5 months after publishing its 2018 audited financial statement. The corporation reduced its loss profile from 803 billion naira in 2018 to 1.7 billion naira in 2019. It also disclosed that annual gas projects is to produce 2.4 gigawatts of electricity. U.S. stocks get a lift from Pfizer vaccine news. Let's join Bosede Abel with global stock market updates.
Countries across Europe are reimposing social restrictions amid a spike in COVID-19 cases. European markets advanced in early Friday trading, looking to bounce back from steep losses in the previous session. Stocks across Asia were mostly down by the close of Friday amid dampened sentiment on the coronavirus front. Shanghai Composites went up 0.13% to 3,336.36. Hang Seng Index jumped 0.94% by the afternoon, while Nikkei declined by 0.41% to close at 23,410.63. U.S. stock futures were muted in overnight trading on Friday as investors await the latest retail sales data. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures slipped by 19 points. The S&P 500 futures and the Nasdaq 100 futures were also slightly lower, while Africa's stocks started trade mostly positive, with South Africa's JSA Africa Top 40, Tunisia's Tunidex, and Namibia's overall index posting gains. Bosede Abel, Business Express.
And on the Nigerian stock market, the market staged a comeback this Friday after 2 days of losses, and it appreciated by 1.11% this Friday to close at 28,659.45 basis points, with market capitalization at 14.979 trillion naira. Investors exchanged 489 million shares valued at 4.72 billion naira in 5,652 deals. Let's now take a look at prevailing currency rates this Friday. And just before we go, let's see how the commodities market is faring. And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Business Express. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us on Twitter. The handle is @NTA News Now. And don't forget to use the hashtag BizX. Business Express returns Monday. I am Muplang Dakok saying, stay safe.